a day out at Brooklands Museum of automobiles on flight. Is it? Yeah.
Last time it went out.
A good pre-run before Ireland at least. Good morning.
Morning.
The car chugging away. Nice and polished.
Ready for the big day out.
Yeah. Mixed day out.
Yeah. 40 time.
It's absolutely beautiful, yeah. As we get close to Brooklands, which is near Weybridge in Surrey, England, see other cars pulling in to the historic car area, including Mick, doing his best to help dispose of unwanted liquid. We parked on the old Brooklands racetrack. The Brooklands racetrack was the first banked racetrack in the world. It was 2.7 miles originally, and I think it was opened in 1907, and everything closed there in 1939. There's an aerodrome there as well, with air hangars and manufacturing plants for what was the Wellington and the Viscount, the VC-10 planes from about 1918. There's an original control tower, which is the race start, or was the race start. It was just a great day out, lots of historic cars from the 60s and 70s and earlier. Cars that we either owned, knew people that owned, saw around every day when we were growing up, and wished we had. And Mick has his, of course, V8 that he built. It attracts a lot of interest. Some of the old buildings hold the museum for cars, and there is the London Transport Bus Museum as well. The track, 2.75 miles, only some of it is left intact. We had the privilege of parking on it and just enjoyed walking around looking at all the old vehicles and planes. A Lotus Elan Plus 2 is a car that I was driven around Goodwood racetrack in many years ago. A friend of my dad's had one. It was a great experience. It was BMW. We met on the journey in, and he opened his door, that's his door, it slides down and under into the bodywork, which is unusual. One of very few of those, I believe, around. My uncle had a stag, a yellow, I think it was, mustard yellow. He sold his Bentley for that so he could pull his boat. Wished he hadn't sold the Bentley. This was a Himmel Minx. This was the first car I was ever driven around in. This is what my mum and dad had until I was, I don't know, 7 or 8 years old. That, right from when I was a little baby. I remember it well. You can really see the gradient of the curve of the racetrack at Brooklands at the back of the picture. Must have been quite scary at speed, I would think. My uncle ended up with one of these cars. A friend of mine had a scimitar. We used to drive to North Wales and South Wales and go mountain climbing. A friend at college that had one of these Cortinas. Another friend that had one of those actually crashed it. My parents had one of these Triumphs. A friend of mine had a cooped up Capri like this. I was in a racing green version of this around Belfast. The driver took me around. A friend of mine had a blue one of these, Triumph 2000s. Moggy 1000, had a friend that had one of those too, grey one. And my dad's parents had one of these when I was younger. Jag. One of the original ticketing offices at Brooklands, 1907, 1939. The Concorde looks as beautiful as ever on the ground, as it ever did flying. Used to watch it over the house every night. and at Heathrow Airport when I used to fly in from Brussels. I used to land as I was getting into my car. My third car was a De Chauveau 2CV. Loved the thing. Red. £2,500 that cost me. Brand new. I've had it for years. Loved the thing. Another Land Plus 2. I had a friend that had one of these. Actually, he had an older version. This was quite modern. Lethal. 3 wheels. Reliant Robin. And then you have this as a contrast. 7 miles to the gallon. 2 petrol tanks in the back. You can see the caps. Amazing. Some beautiful cars. The McLaren Senna supercar exhibit. Amazing vehicles. The Lotus Esprit from James Bond. For your eyes only, I think. With skis on. Yeah, I'd like to see that in the snow. The Vickers Wellington, the highlight of the Aviation Museum in the manufacturing hangar. 11,461 of these were built, and 2,515 of them were built at Brooklands, and the first prototype flew at Brooklands in 1936. This particular one was found in Loch Ness by some Loch Ness monster hunters. They found it and brought it back to Brooklands, where it was cleaned up and worked on to bring it to the place that it's at now. 1985, I think it was salvaged after being located in 1976. Amazing. Another highlight of Brooklands is the bus museum, and we couldn't resist but to go in there. And to our surprise, one of the first buses we saw, well, maybe the second, this was the first bus. Second bus we saw was the 5:21 to Aldwych, which actually was the bus we took when we were in London to see Sandra May perform at the Pizza Express. And that's the bus we took from Waterloo Station. The Green Line London country buses, I used to catch the 406 from school every afternoon to get home. I used to try and get up on the top front. And the 418 used to run from Ewell to Epsom and the other direction, on the other side of Ruxley Lane where I went to school. Some nice memories.
Must be 30 minutes. We're only take the Saturday. There'll be another 4 away.
Well, remember that you didn't pay,
And so the day comes to an end. Our car starts to get lonely on the Brooklands track. So we head back home. Time for a journey back in the MG. Definitely headset on and sound up for Mick's car. Beautiful purring noise.